VTubing. You probably know it as a type of streaming or content made by people with virtual avatars. It's a format that allows a content creator to do all the things that most content creators do without their face being the main focus of their content. It can be fun, rewarding to some, and also a great way to form a community. Whether you love it or think that it's 100% cringe, it seems like it's here to stay. But if you ask me, VTubing kinda sucks. Or at least the community does. Now before I get a bunch of angry comments, I'm somebody that actually does VTubing, and I know what some of y'all are thinking. Why the fuck do you do it then if it sucks so much? Simple, because I enjoy making content, and like stated earlier, my face doesn't have to be the focus. Even though I've shown my face before and people find me attractive. So I mean, if you don't believe me, go follow me on Twitter and you'll find out. Anyways, every community has its fair share of issues, and this one is no exception. So in this video, I'm going to explain what I mean. Starting off with the most common issue in this space, drama. Now I know a lot of communities have drama in them, but out of every community I know of, the VTuber community is constantly filled with drama. Everywhere you look, there's always some kind of issue going on, whether it's a call-out post, a Google Doc, people angry at someone for having an absolute dumpster fire of a take, you name it. You can't go a single day in the VTuber community without there being some kind of drama, and there's so much to the point where there's people farming this shit for content, making it their entire career. Hey, don't look at me like that. Every video is not gonna be like this. Plus, I ain't mad at them for chasing a bag for real. So go and get your money up. My point is, there never seems to be an end to it. It also doesn't seem to matter where it started either. Twitter DMs? That shit is getting leaked. Discord DMs? Chances are it's getting aired out on that hellhole formerly known as Twitter.com. Twitch chat? X marks the spot. You get it. Sad part about it is 90% of this will be over the dumbest shit imaginable. I kid you not. I opened up Twitter one morning fresh out of bed just to take a look at the timeline, just to see a back and forth over, hold up, somebody's stealing someone else's design. But then I took a moment to look into it. And then I realized they both have the most generic starter pack look. Like maybe if y'all didn't get y'all models out of the bargain bin at TJ Maxx, they wouldn't look so similar. They be getting these Temu ass models talking about, they copied this, they copied that. How about you copy the method of getting a bag? How about you copy the method of, I don't know, going outside and touching grass? Have you ever thought about that? Now I know people actually do wild things from time to time, but I'm referring back to 90% of the drama in this space that's pointless. Just like those Google Docs where they hype it up like the person they're supposed to be exposing is either a racist, a predator, or an all-around terrible person. Only for it to be something like, Cheek Slayer 69 VT is so mean to me. They call me a poopy head and I want them cancelled. If you follow them, then you should unfollow me. That should be wasting so much time, I swear. I could go on about this for hours, but for the sake of this video, I'll say this. If they aren't a terrible person, why create problems? Just mute them, block them, or go outside or something. Speaking of which, here's the next reason why I think the VTuber community sucks. This is something that plagues the community. Yet an alarming amount of people in this space are seemingly fine with this, and that's racism and bigotry. Now if they weren't mad at me before this, I know they're mad now. There's gonna be some people that will ignore everything that I say after this just so they can rush to the comments and be on some negative shit. But anyways, this is one of the main reasons why I feel like the VTuber community sucks. There are so many people in this space that are either A, racist and bigoted, or B, people that will turn a blind eye to it while acting like it's not an issue. I'm not gonna lie, it's almost like the second you have a model with a skin tone darker than mayonnaise, you're playing the game on hard mode, because the second you do anything noteworthy, hold large events, or even address something problematic, then it's an entire clan meeting in the comments of wherever you're posting. There's been so many times where I've streamed, posted a video, or tweeted about something only to have the basement-dwelling troglodytes run to a post of mine to be racist. But the second you call them out on nonsense, even when using sound logic, they just deflect and malfunction. Their responses are almost exactly the same too. It's almost like they're getting their shit from ChatGPT. Like, imagine being so mad that you gotta use AI for a response now. Like that mad? I mean, I'd be mad too if the only thing I was good at was smelling like booty hole, having poor reading comprehension, and scaring the hoes. But that's their problem, not mine. Anyways, if I had to pick out an example of the many instances of racism and bigotry that's happened in this space, I could think of one straight off the top of my mind, mainly because of how recent it was. There was a post where an artist made the N-word pass asset specifically for white people to use. Now, obviously, people didn't take the post well, and the post got a lot of backlash. But wildly enough, the post got a lot of support, with the artist and people defending it as quote-unquote satire? Saying that the artist is a person of color? Oh, so basically they're Uncle Ruckus. Now, last time I checked, the exact definition of satire is the use of humor, irony, exaggeration, or ridicule to expose and criticize people's stupidity or vices, particularly in the context of contemporary politics and other topical issues. Now, not only was this shit not funny, but instead of exposing or criticizing people's stupidity or vices, this dumbass just enabled them. By the way, if y'all want to know about real satire, then go watch the Boondocks, Robot Chicken, or South Park. There, I just gave y'all the blueprint. But tangent aside, this is only one example. Let me address another point. This is something that's been spoken about by a lot of people, so I won't dwell on it for too long, but as a person of color or someone that's black, do you know how many times I've seen people get their art or models completely whitewashed? It even happened to me once, and that shit looked atrocious. It's like some of the artists in the community don't know what a color picker tool is, which is honestly kind of tragic because there's so many talented artists that will straight up whitewash or OCs or outright refuse to draw darker skin tones or certain hairstyles. It's so bad that some VTubers of color or black VTubers will settle with having whitewashed models or art just so they can fit in with what's deemed as more acceptable or to avoid racism that comes with it. Now, let me be clear. I'm not mad about this shit, but this shit is mad tiresome. And that goes to show that it's truly wicked out here. And before y'all come to type, you wouldn't last a second in a Call of Duty lobby. Wrong. I played every Call of Duty up until the Modern Warfare reboot back in 2019, and all of those racists were trash at the game and got cooked by my score streaks, but that's beside the point. Anyways, it's time to talk about the next reason why I think the community sucks. Now, this next topic is absolutely foul, but there's yet another thing that plagues the community, and that's weirdos and predators. Honestly, I don't want to stay on this topic for too long because it's pretty self-explanatory, but there's a few things I'm gonna mention and then I'll move on to the next point. To kick this off, there's way too many people in the VTubering space that use this as a cover to exhibit weird behaviors. Some of them being sex pests, stalkers, or the type of people that be getting freaky with minors. The amount of horror stories that come out about this stuff is insane, and I've seen it one too many times. The crazy thing is, it's people that you think that are cool that be the main ones taking part of some of this nasty ass behavior. First of all, consent is key, and it's hella important. Second of all, the age of consent is 18. I'm gonna need y'all to remember that. Also, while I'm on this topic, I wanna bring up one more thing. The way some of y'all be defending lolly and shoulder content is hella weird and very questionable. It's absolutely wild how some of y'all in the community be foaming at the mouth and crashing out on anyone that speaks on it negatively. So since some of y'all are like that, let me be clear. I'm not saying the existence of these characters or style of content is wrong, nor am I saying that the VTubers that make and present this style of content are bad people. I know that sometimes that content exists for the sake of being wholesome and funny. But what I'm referring to is the people that sexualize this shit. Whether you draw or make not safe for work content based off of that shit, it is nasty work, and if y'all are defending and supporting it, you're disgusting. You should see that it's wrong and take accountability for it, which is the perfect segue to my next point. Every time there's a controversy where someone's getting called out or exposed for doing something out of pocket, there's almost always the lack of accountability. They'll either A, deflect and shift the blame onto something or someone else, B, make themselves the victim, or C, double down on what they're getting called out for. This shit is so ridiculous that they'll even use mental illness as an excuse, which is crazy because not only is that pathetic to do, but it gives people who are suffering with mental illnesses a bad rep. They'll give some of the most pathetic excuses and say some shit like, I'm depressed and I have ADHD, so if you cancel me, you're all bad people. Now give me sympathy, please. No. Which is crazy because it doesn't make sense. You're telling me depression made you message those minors? You're telling me ADHD made you racist? Make it make sense. Unless you have proof that you did nothing wrong, there should be no excuses. The only thing you should be doing is owning up to it. But we all know you're not. Y'all are gonna make a half-ass apology, call it a learning experience, take a short break, then come back like nothing happened. And then with the way some of y'all be eating this shit up, it's like nothing even happened. Y'all be letting some of these VTubers grow by driving up their numbers and views, but not as human beings, which lets them think they can get away with a lot of this shit. Then when they officially crash out, then becomes a big surprise because it just so happened to be your favorite. Instead of holding people accountable, y'all just let it slide because they do what y'all like. But when it's somebody y'all don't like that does something slight, the hate mob comes out left and right, which brings me to my next point. Out of everything I hate in the VTuber community, this one's gotta take the cake. Cause the selective outrage is crazy. Y'all will let someone like Villian be blatantly racist, underpay the people that clip and promote her, admit to stealing the model that she uses while making merch from it. But the minute somebody makes a slight mistake, has a take that you don't like, or calls out something or someone you don't like, y'all will be ready to cancel their entire existence. Like I said earlier, make it make sense. I've seen people get dogpiled and damn near canceled over the silliest of reasons. Yet we have people who are genuine problems, and a lot of people are like, yeah, but they do this one thing that I like, so it's okay. Just cause they do a redeem or say something funny that you like or even follow you back on Twitter does not mean that they're your friend. Speaking of which, that reminds me of another thing. This isn't an issue solely in the VTuber community, but the way some of y'all be so damn parasocial over a person that's not only on the internet, but that's also behind a model is insane to me. Like, y'all are foaming at the mouths and ready to crash out over a person puppeteering a 2D, a 3D, or even a PNG? Y'all gotta be tweaking because there's no way. The parasocial aspect of VTubing is so bad that they even made a horror game based on that. Let that sink in. It's that bad, and it makes no sense. Y'all gotta start going outside and start forming some meaningful connections or something, because y'all shouldn't be tweaking this hard over people you'll probably never meet. From all the trauma dumping, love bombing, and even thinking that you're entitled to talk to people who are just trying to make content or stream games is weird as fuck. I could go more in depth with this topic, but that could be a video on its own, to be honest, so I'm just gonna move on to the next point. Now, if you ask me, I think that the one reason why a lot of issues and drama happens within this space mostly comes down to a lack of communication. Like, if some of y'all learn how to communicate, then I guarantee at least 75% of the drama and problems y'all be having with people in this space will be gone. And I know that a lot of y'all are socially inept, shy, or afraid of confrontation, but I swear you can change so much if you take the time to learn how to talk to people. It's not that hard. Y'all learned all the yats, the rizzes, and all the other terms, so I know y'all can at least learn how to speak to someone to clear up an issue, right? I mean, most of the time it's just misunderstandings that got blown out of proportion. You can't have a successful community if you can't communicate properly. Remember that. Community and communicate are derived from the same words, so I need y'all to work on that so you can save yourselves the trouble, stress, and time. That way you don't have to come up with a 42-page doc on someone every week, or you don't have to have a block list that rivals the census of some cities, unless you're dealing with irredeemable people. Speaking of what's lacking, let's get on to the next point. If there's something I've seen a lot of in this space, or in this case, something I've seen a lack of, it's originality. There's a lack of originality, and I could tell because I see the same types of VTubers all the time. The most common types of VTuber I see are either a cat, a bunny, or a demon. And that's not a shot at anybody, cause I'm cool with a lot of them, but I'd like to see other kinds more often. Like, let me see a bat, an ostrich, or something else. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not just a model thing either. It'll be everything from the same tired ass trends to everybody singing the same damn covers. As a person that makes music, I always find it funny when somebody tells me that they do music and they just sing all the same covers that everyone else has been singing. Like, I'm tired of hearing King, please. Retire that shit. Also, I want to hear y'all make some original music for once, cause I hear people that are really good at singing and making beats, but all y'all do is sing anime openings, K-pop songs, or produce tracks with the Hatsune Miku Vocaloids. Also, some of y'all cannot rap. Please leave that shit to somebody like me, please, and thank you. If you don't believe me, then here, listen. Alright, okay, Dan, let me switch up the cadence. I swear to God, got no patience for all the shit that you say, yeah. Charged up like Goku, tell me what you really say, yeah. I can tell that you be soft from all the games that you play, yeah. Now listen! That's called motherfucking bars, nigga! You know nothing about that! Nitpicks aside, it would be really nice to see some fully original stuff in this space. From music, more creative trends, models, you name it, we need more. To wrap things up, everything about the VTuber community isn't all bad, which is why I said at the beginning that it only kinda sucks. I've met some of the coolest people I've ever met doing this. I've had the experience to gain my own little community, made meaningful connections, and even had more experiences that I've truly come to enjoy. Things that I would have probably never come to experience had I never taken the leap into VTubing. Like I said before, every community has its problems, and while I don't expect this video to be the one that fixes it all, I do want it to at least serve as a reminder. Nitpicks, criticism, and jokes aside, it is what it is. And if you made it this far into the video, whether you agree or not, feel free to civilly discuss it. If you feel I missed something, let me know, and I might make an additional video. But if you got offended and or rushed to type racist negative shit, then thank you for the free engagement, bozo. Sorry not sorry.